How's it going, guys? I'm your host Carbon Gaming. Welcome back to a very special DragonFable video. And for today's video, we are going through the DragonFable NPC characters power tier list. Okay, so today, this video was actually a special request from one of our viewers. So shout out to him for the idea on making a tier list for the power levels of the characters inside of the game. But I will not be going through every single NPC character because there's just simply too many. Okay, I will be going through characters that are either quite important to the story, have shown up quite a few times, or are simply just characters that are pretty iconic to the game. Okay, and this will be ranked according to their in-law powers, and I'll be ranking them at their prime. So this is obviously going to be an opinionated tier list to some extent. As with all other tier lists, there will be some opinions here and there. Of course, only the devs will know for certain whether or not someone is really on top of another person, but we don't really get a lot of confirmation against every single character's power levels. So these are my opinions on who I think is at the very top and who I think is at the bottom. Okay, so most of the civilian characters, like Yuga, like Arya, Serenity, these people literally no powers. They are not even going to be included inside the list because I see no point. All right, they are just powerless people, just regular people. Okay, so starting off the list, we have Cersi. Okay, Cersi never really did quite make an impression on me in the first two books. In fact, I didn't even notice she existed, but she was quite prominent inside of book 3, and that was the reason why I decided to include her inside of this tier list. So she is a rogue and is a good friend of Robina as well. I would say she's just slightly stronger than the average human. I wouldn't really say she's like super duper strong or anything like that. So for this reason, I'm going to rank Cersi at a tier C. Alright, next up we have the Attilan trio. So these are not these beings are not from our world, and we've seen them done some impressive feats, but at the same time they don't really have anything like super duper fantastic. Sure, they are really strong, but at the same time they do have their limits, especially when faced with Wargoth. But then again, Wargoth is like a godlike being, so what can you expect out of them, right? That being said, I don't think they are weak with the Riftwalker being able to jump around, and then of course the mind readers, like the rogue classes. I forgot what those are called. The cryptics, yeah. And then of course you have your mages, which are the what do you call those classes again? Oh my god, I cannot remember. But yeah, the Attilan trio, I think they are a solid B tier. Okay, they are definitely strong, but we haven't seen any super fantastic feats out of them yet, so I don't want to rank them too highly. I'll give them a B tier. Next up we have Wargoth. Wargoth is literally god tier level, so he's going to be S tier. Like, he needs the combined help of so many people in order to take down. I think Wargoth is really no laughing joke. The fact that he's able to threaten all of law and like an entire race of people, like that just speaks to the volumes of power that Wargoth actually has. So he's going to be S tier. Next up we have Acanthus. So Acanthus, the main antagonist inside of book 3, and we've seen that he is immune to magic, even the combined might of Sepulture, as well as Altion was not able to stop him. On top of that, even someone like Warlick, someone as powerful as Warlick, is afraid of Acanthus because he's simply immune to all forms of magic. Now, there's a lot of loopholes as to how immune he is. Can you like lift a giant rock and drop it over him? Will he be immune to that? Can you like open a portal halfway through his body and then close the portal to snap him in half? Is he immune to that? I don't really know what his immunity is. We don't really have a clear answer to like what are the things that he's immune to. Is a magic sword not able to hurt him? But what about a regular sword? Can regular weapons hurt him at all? That's really my question. But then again, I think his power is nothing to be scoffed at, so I'm going to give him an S tier. Next up we have Jania. So Jania, the ice mage, in the same class as Warlick as well as Sand way back in the days. But Jania, if you combine her ice mage powers together with her command and control over the roles, I think she makes for a formidable adversary, not just on her own, but because of the armies that she controls. but I do not think that she's at god tier level yet. Yes, she's a fantastic ice mage, but you know, there are some situations where I can see her being outclassed. Like, she also wasn't able to do anything to Acanthus as we've seen in the latest development for book 3. So for that reason, I'm going to give her an A tier. Next, we have Hansa, the Blind Magus. Okay, quite a, I would say, well-known general of the roles, but she's strong, don't get me wrong, but we haven't seen any great feats from her yet as well. So she is also able to sense magic as well as direct us when we are inside of the giant fungal titan. So that's certainly something that is testament to how powerful she is. But at the same time, I find that we haven't seen enough of what she can actually do, what the extent and limits of her power. I think she'll be B tier, below the Atelian trio. I don't know if I should put her in C tier, but at the same time, I feel like she is definitely more powerful than the average human, so she's going in B tier. Next up, we have Felwyn. Okay, the favorite girl ever since she came out. Unfortunately, she is really just a normal human being. She isn't even a full-fledged like a rogue or whatever class you want to call her. Like she still has a long way to go for her training, and for that reason alone, I say she is in D tier. Next up, we have Kevin DF. I mean Faust. Okay, so Faust is actually sort of like a side character, not so much a main character, but I feel like Faust deserves a mention because of how he was able to match us inside the Tournament of Heroes. So that actually makes him pretty darn good. The fact that he didn't completely get curb stomped by us, okay, and that he has more to show, and also the fact that he was the previous year's champion. So that really speaks a lot to how powerful Faust is. Of course, he does have his enemy, which is more powerful than him. Was that Lysander? Yeah, Lysander. Unfortunately, we haven't seen much of Lysander yet, so that was why I didn't include Lysander in this list. But for Faust, I think he is going in the B tier, definitely high B tier. The fact that he's able to match us, but at the same time, he just looks like an ordinary human. So I don't think he has much magical abilities or anything. Probably super strength, super speed, but and like enhanced stamina and durability. But I think that's about it. I don't think I'll place him higher than a B tier. Next, Uenta. So Uenta is the champion from the other side of the world that we have not explored yet. Okay, and of course she holds the Makers, aka the Avatars, in very high regard and is one of their champions from the other side of the world. Uenta is hailed as a warrior, so she enjoys the same status as we are in her own side of the world. But we haven't really seen much of what she can do, you know, and given her age as well, I think that she's not super duper impressive in my personal opinion. Like against the other Maliaras, I don't think she has shown us what she's truly capable of yet. So I think I'm going to give her only a C tier. Of course, if you guys think that she should be bumped higher because of her reputation and standing, she could go higher, but we haven't seen proof of this yet, apart from what she tells us alone. And you know, it's just what we hear from her alone. We haven't really heard anything much from the other people. Okay, you could say, yes, maybe the avatars made her their champion, so that should speak, you know, that should be testament of her strength. But how tough are the monsters from the other side of the world, which we have not explored yet? Again, that's something that remains to be seen, so I don't think I can rank her any higher. Next up, Nota Liar. Okay, Nota, she is one of the final Maliaras, and she has shown that she is not just a ordinary human girl. She has shown a lot of flair for technology as well as some exalted magic as well. And I think for that reason alone, I think she deserves to be placed higher than Nota. But at the same time, she deserves to be placed higher than Uenta, sorry. But at the same time, like I said, I don't think we've seen enough of what she's capable of yet before I can place her higher. I think she has potential to maybe even be an A tier, but right now I would say she is very high B. Okay, next we have Altion. Okay, so Altion, you might see that he's just a weak king, but inside, late into book 3, you can see that he's actually a retired dragon lord, and dragon lords are nothing to scoff at. Okay, they have control over their own dragons, and they have not just magic powers, but great strength and might, ordinary brawn powers as well. So Eltion being retired, but the fact that he came back after his retirement, back into Dragon Lord, I feel like that's impressive, but at the same time, he also wasn't able to match Acanthus, and even though Acanthus is S tier, which is quite a challenge for just about every other person on this list, okay, Eltion hasn't shown us much of what he can do yet, so I would say he deserves a C tier, okay. Next, we have Melissa. Melissa, the fairy, quite prominent inside of Book 3's main story, but again, I haven't seen her doing much of anything at all. Haven't really seen any impressive feats from her as well. So I think Melissa is probably going to be a C tier unless we see something more out of her. Same goes for Kara. I feel like these two are more of like diplomacy rather than actual combat prowess. We haven't really seen what these two are capable of in combat. Melissa has shown more combat prowess than Kara, but Kara, you know what, Kara, maybe I might even bump her down to D. Shall we bump Kara down to a D? I think for now she's very, very low C because she still has some magic, whereas Felwyn doesn't even have magic. Alright, next up, Artic. Okay, so in the other AE games, Artic is probably godlike. By others, I mean AQ Worlds. Okay, but instead of DragonFable, let's just talk about DragonFable himself. Of course, he is the creator of the game and he's pretty much immortal. Okay, we assume that because he is the creator of the game, he can pretty much do whatever he wants and make his character as powerful as he can be inside the game, right? But that's not how in-game lore works. Okay, we've seen that Artic is actually susceptible to necromancy magic inside of last year's Mogloween quest. So I think for that reason alone, Artic isn't really as infallible as many people make him out to be. At least not in DragonFable. I don't think he's like on the god tier level. But of course, the fact that he can slay so much undead and is resistant to a bunch of other stuff, I think he's probably B tier, but quite a low B tier. Next up, we have Galanov. Okay, Galanov, the Dragon Slayer. Not a lot of achievements in the first two books, but in the third book, he does become the speaker for the Great One. Okay, so I'll assume that the Great One has at least passed on some powers to him, or at least granted him immunity, and basically enhanced him as a whole, so that he's not gonna fall in combat that easily. And because of the enhanced power, I do think that Galanov is definitely pretty strong. I would not say that he is stronger than maybe someone like Jania. I would say maybe he's on par with Artic, simply because we haven't seen him much in combat ever since. Did he stop fighting at all after he became a speaker for the Great Ones? I mean, his main job was to slay dragons, and if he stopped slaying dragons, who else has he slain? No one. Who else has he beaten? No one, except for a few mushrooms. So yeah, I would say B tier. Okay, only because he got power from the Great Ones. Otherwise, I would probably give him a C. Okay, next up is the hero. Okay, so we've overcome basically just about anything. Okay, but we are not God inside of this game. So there is still a limit to our power, and I am tempted to give the hero, which is us, a B. But I think we are more powerful than that. The fact that we can beat most of the other characters on this list without any help at all, I think that gives us an A tier for sure. Okay, as for Draco, Legendary Dragon, almost everybody knows who we are, and and they don't know who Draco is, then they'll probably get to know Draco at some point of time inside the story. And being from one of the two eggs that hatched, I think Draco is actually really very strong. Oops, I actually forgot to include Fluffy inside this list, but Fluffy and Draco will probably be the same. They are probably S tier. Okay. Ostromia and Seslava, we have not seen them fighting at all. They come from the Shapeless Empire. They're pretty much just translators. Yes, they have some magic prowess, but they've not shown to be very durable. And you just damage their suit in some way, and they're pretty much vulnerable to all of our the entirety of our environment. So I would say they are D tier. Next up, Celestia and Elysia, the two dragon priestesses. Okay, yes, they are in charge of taking care of some of the most powerful dragons inside of lore, but they themselves, they don't really have much power at all. Like, we haven't seen them done anything, honestly. So yeah, D tier. I would say they are just slightly above regular civilians at best. Next, we have Zed, the Golemancer. So inside of book 3, he's pretty much a slave to the roles. Book 1 and book 2, I don't know if we've seen him there before. He might have made an appearance, but probably not a very iconic one. So I would say Zed inside of book 3. That's probably where he is in his prime, but we haven't seen great things come out of him. He made some golems that were kind of tough boss fights, but on his own, like if we discount his golem making powers, he's probably a D. But because he can come out with all these crazy, wacky inventions, I would say he's at least a C tier. I don't think he's quite at B yet, because if you defeat his inventions, then he's pretty much just an ordinary human. Maybe a bit more magic powers here and there, but yeah, C tier. Next, we have Cative. Okay, the Ancient Doom Spirit. Cative, the fact that she was able to corrupt our dragon, yeah, I think she's pretty powerful, okay? But she's also one of the, I would say, not the most elder of the elemental spirits there. So Cative is probably only an A tier. Yep, not quite at S yet, but I think she's definitely more powerful than the B tier people. Oh, I also forgot, I could have included Katu inside of here. Katu, not really super iconic inside of DragonFable itself. Maybe that was why I forgot about it. But if Katu was on this list, Katu would probably be an S. So yeah. Next, Robina. Okay, Robina, basically an archery girl, and then in book 3, she goes on to become the queen and ruling over all Sword Haven. Unfortunately, she doesn't hold much command over the roles, at least not as much as Jania. So if we can really only fall back on her ranger skills. And I think her skills places her in the same tier as Cersi. Definitely, both of these are comrades, so I would say that they are regular humans who are more skilled than the average human. That is why they probably can't go higher than a C tier. Next, Draconan. Okay, Draconan started off as a regular human, but with all his training and the corruption from the Fire Orb, all that, I think he is pretty strong. Is he strong enough to be in the B tier? I still don't think so. I still think he is like a C at best, even when he is in his prime. Yeah, I think he's probably only a C. I don't think we can go higher than that. He was also pretty easily beaten. Like, didn't really do a whole lot. Especially when we are going against Wargoth. He was able to hold his own, but like I said, that was with help from a lot of other people. So yeah. Sand. Okay, Sand with the Pyronomicon. I think he's pretty powerful with fire magic. Of course, still can't hold a candle to Wargoth. But that being said though, Sand, in the same class as Jania and Warlick, back when he was younger, he did lose to Warlick, which was why he was set ablaze. So if you consider that, I would say he's probably B tier, underneath Jania, not as powerful as Jania, and definitely not as powerful as Warlick. Next, we have Val. Okay, Val, retired superpower Chaos Weaver hero, whatever the heck you want to call him, mega villain. But I think Val, okay, if we count everybody that is in their prime, I think Val in his prime is like super duper strong. Even right now when he's just lazing around drinking Moglin berry juice, I think he's still a pretty powerful Chaos Weaver. The fact that a spirit actually wants to possess him, yeah, that speaks volumes about how powerful his physical being is, at least. But at the same time, the fact that he was able to be possessed means that he can't go into the S tier because there is someone above him. So I'm going to put him in the A tier. I still think he's a very powerful character, nothing to scoff at. Next up, we have Twilly. Okay, Twilly hasn't really done much, okay, apart from being an iconic character. We can just punt Twilly around like nothing. So I think Twilly is probably going to the D tier, even with the healing magic. But then again, how often does Twilly heal us inside of the game? Not very often. So yeah, D tier. Next up, Zorbek. Zorbek is, again, I would say almost on the same tier as Twilly, but he did manage to score himself a bit more points than Twilly because of the fact that he's quite a nuisance during the seasonal events. The fact that he can raise undead to annoy us, enough undead to start a whole war. I think that places him above Twilly, but apart from that, we haven't really seen any like world-threatening feats from him yet, so I think he's only a C tier. Next up, we have Drakehab. Okay, Drakehab in his human form, I think he's a C tier at best, but if you count him with the ultimate orbs, okay, I think he would be probably right up there, S tier. Yeah, but we're looking at Drakehab in his base human form. So base human form, I'm going to rate him a C. Okay, if the super mega Draco Leech Drakehab, I would think that he's probably an S. Right, okay, next we have Dove. Okay, Dove. Not a character we've seen a lot of, but of course one of the creators of the game did name him his new character after did remake his new character after this NPC. So that's something to say. Okay, though for the most part he has great healing powers. He could be an ancient light dragon. We don't really know yet. Okay, still very mysterious right now, and we don't really know what he's capable of yet. But the fact that he was able to shield us from the blast of Cative tells us that he's probably on the same tier as K-Tip, so I'm going to give him an A. Next up, we have Sepulcher. Okay, Sepulcher is the main antagonist of Book 1, okay, and basically the most iconic villain in DragonFable, and probably even all of Adventure Quest, all of Artic's Entertainment, if you ask me. Anyone who's played Artic's Entertainment should know who the heck is Sepulcher. Okay, but taking out his fame, he's also a pretty powerful Doom Knight. Okay, but is it only because of the Doom weapon that's why he's that powerful? I don't know. You take away his Doom weapon, you consider Amadeus in Book 3. I think that he would probably only be like a B tier in Book 3. But if we look at him in his villain form in Book 1, I think he's up there as I would say S tier. Yeah, definitely S tier. Being able to hold his own against the Super Mega Draco Leech, even though he wasn't able to beat it, but he was able to hold his ground. Okay, and he did get like super easily betrayed by Draco, which was I feel like that really didn't do his character justice. Like all it takes was a stab in the back with an ordinary sword. That's it. Like come on. Okay, the blade did go through him and he was still able to continue fighting even after that stab. So yeah, I think S tier, okay. Mysterious Stranger, the actual final secret boss of Book 1, okay, and the boss of Sepulcher, which we found out later on. Definitely S tier, not even of this world, part of the Shadow Side. If you guys play through MechQuest, you will know that the Mysterious Stranger is probably one of the ancient beings from long ago. So yeah, Mysterious Stranger, very powerful, even though we don't see much of him in action, but just that small little glimpse of his power inside of Book 1 is enough to show us how powerful he is. Next up, Cero. I think this is going to be a polarizing option because Cero, even though we haven't seen much of him, he has shown to be quite a powerful mage on tier with Warlick, and he's not even bothered by most of the world-threatening events. That just goes to tell me that, one, either he really doesn't give a shit about anything, or two, he's just a higher being in mortal form, just observing. Okay, he can't really be bothered to interfere, not even when a world-threatening event like Sepulcher or the Mysterious Stranger is right at our doorstep. He seems nonchalant. He literally could not care less. He could still be there cracking jokes. That could just be his character, but the fact that he is not bothered by all these worldly things, I think that tells me that Cicero is actually super duper powerful and wouldn't really bother to step in even if his own survival is at stake, if he's even worried about that, or like he doesn't even seem worried that the sun was about to be devoured, like law was about to be destroyed. Like he literally still doesn't care. It's the same attitude that he gave us. So I think for that reason alone, he's actually someone super powerful. Alright, even though we didn't really get to explore more of his character after Book 1, and I feel like that was quite a waste because I really kind of want to see how powerful Cicero actually is. Of course, the actual guy already left the company, so I don't know if he'll develop his story any further beyond that, but I think Cicero is definitely one of the most powerful characters inside the game that many people sleep on, right? Okay, next up, the Blue Mage Warlick. I think this goes without saying. Definitely S tier, able to hold his own against the avatars, even to the point of beating the avatars. I would say enough that they would give in and not punish his apprentice Nightera. I think that speaks volumes about the power level of Warlick. Okay, and Warlick and Wargoth are basically the same if you ask me. So they technically have two spots on this list, but yeah, both are S tier, super duper powerful. He is unable to overcome Acanthus, which is I don't know what I feel about that. Does that make Acanthus more powerful than Warlick? Or is it because Acanthus specifically counters magic or is immune to magic, which is why Warlick can't do anything to him? Who do you think is more powerful, Warlick or Acanthus? Like, they are both super powerful in their own ways. But I think if we were to come down to it, I would say that Acanthus is Warlick's kryptonite. Okay, like just like Superman and Kryptonite. As powerful as Superman is, when going up against Kryptonite, there's nothing that Superman can do. Same case here, Acanthus and Warlick. Alright. Next up, Nitera, the Dragon Mage, the apprentice to Warlick. Okay, she is half dragon, so that makes her more powerful than half the characters on this list already. And the fact that she is mentoring, she is tutoring under one of the most powerful mages / characters inside the whole game. I think that says that she has a lot of potential to become on the same tier as Warlick in the future. But for now, I would say that Nitera is probably only at the B tier. Even after all her training in Book 3, we haven't seen much incredible feats from her yet. So I would say it's only a B unless we see more of her inside the story. Next up, Ash. So Ash, after rescuing the princess, did get all the power of the light and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. As long as with a new blade. Okay, so but apart from that, I don't think we've seen Ash enough inside of the main story. Okay, we did see a little bit more of him, but after you play through his side story, you know, I want to see more of what he can do with his newfound powers, apart from that small little part inside of the Cative Saga. So for now, I'm going to rank him B tier. Okay, the book 1 Ash is probably D tier, but I think book 3 Ash deserves a B tier for sure. Alright, and last but not least, we have Tomix, the Soul Weaver. Okay, used to be the original NPC for Dove. Okay, but he did change over to Dove. So in the past, he was known as Tomix. So Tomix is a Soul Weaver inside the game. Of course, these two characters have no relation inside the game that we know of currently. I'm just talking about the actual death. Okay, so Tomix, Soul Weaver, he did have to sacrifice his life in order to, you know, stop the greed. Okay, no, was it greed or was it envy? I think it was envy. Man, been so long. Okay, stop one of the elemental spirits, okay, from going corrupt. That being said, I don't think Tomix is weak at all. He is one of the best Soul Weavers out there. But, you know, how do I rank a person who's already dead? I feel like we've never really seen Tomix in his prime do a lot. Back in his younger days, this profile picture, I felt like he did more. Whereas in book 3, we didn't really see a whole lot of Tomix, you know, showcasing his power and how good he was. So for that reason, I think I can only give him B. Alright, so the characters in their own tiers, they are not ranked like this, but you know, across the different ranks, I think this is how I would rate them. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Is there anyone that I forget? Anyone else you guys would like to get my opinions on? Or is there anything that you agree or disagree with me? I'd love to hear out your comments as well. With that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's special video. Please keep the suggestions coming. I love to hear interesting suggestions. And I love to do more new ideas for the suggestions that you guys have. If you guys like this video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to this channel if you guys like to see more of such future content. Till the next time, I'm your host, Carbon Gaming. Peace out.